Good. All right. So I think we're on now. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Paul Wright from the band Alchemy Fire, and we're doing this tech talk on behalf of Project Metal Music with El Young and Digital Revolution Radio. And tonight's guest is someone what I call closer to home. This is my bandmate and fellow member of Alchemy Fire. This is Felipe Kopke on playing bass. So I'm going to be doing digging deep and letting Philip talk about himself, about his career, about his background. So first things first. Now, we've got these questions written down because I know you might not understand my language too great, but we'll kick off with the first one. Like I said, what got you into your music and how old were you, Philippe, when you were doing this?
Paul, thank you so much for inviting me here.
No problem, mate.
And I started to play with 14 years. Yeah, I started to play with I'm 14 years with some friends, neighborhoods there. And someone started to play with acoustic guitar.
Yep.
And I think, why not?
Yeah.
And I decided to start to play as well. Yeah.
Okay. Did you actually start playing bass straight away, or did you learn with the acoustic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started to play with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's just so you know how people get an idea, because some people think bass players don't play guitar, but you do. I know you do.
No, I started playing guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
I started playing guitar, and probably after 2 years, I think, I decided to play bass in a friend band.
Okay.
And and definitely I'm falling in love with the bass.
Yeah, well, that's it. You had your calling, you see. That's the word, the calling. Philippe had his calling. So, okay, we'll go on to the next bit. Is there any of your family musical, like your mum or dad, or is it just that you went and you did it yourself?
No. I'm literally the black sheep of the family.
Right. I see.
I'm the first one.
First one.
To the moment, I'm the only one guy to play in the family. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have brothers and sisters, do you? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one brother and one sister.
Okay, and they don't have any musical ability? No.
My daughter, sorry. My sister played piano with 7 years.
Yeah.
No,
you just never have. Okay, all right. Do you play anything else other than bass? Do you play piano or another instrument or anything like that?
Just acoustic guitar and electric guitar, but just to compose in something. But definitely I'm on bass.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the main one.
Yep. Well, I'll certainly say you're good at it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, good man. If you weren't influenced by your family or anything like that, who sort of give you the influence to make you pick up the bass? I know you've got bands that you like and stuff like that, but did anyone sort of like a mate or a friend who said, "Hey, I like you doing that. Do you want to, like I said, I know you joined a friend's band, but did you see someone that you liked and said, I want to do that?"
Yeah, I start to play. I start to play bass because nobody wants to play bass.
Right.
Everybody wants to play guitar and be the guitar hero on the band.
Yeah.
And I look to the bass and why not?
Yeah.
And I start to be a bass hero on the bass.
Yeah. Well,
it's great because the most bass players play just on the kitchen with the drums.
Yeah.
Just the simple notes. And I thought, no, if we have a guitar heroes, probably have bass heroes as well.
Yes, that's true.
And I started looking for bass heroes,
Yeah,
and I found Billy Sheehan,
yeah,
Victor Rutan,
yeah,
Adaniti, Felipe Andreoli,
yeah,
uh, many others, Jaco
yeah,
Pastorius,
yeah. All great
Steve
players.
Harris,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Steve Harris. Yeah,
many,
yeah.
many, many bass
Oh, yeah,
heroes.
yeah. There's some great players out there. There's no doubt about that. Does that,
And
like, because when you're playing, obviously for bass player, do you sort of like use that to compose, or do you start with a guitar and think, well, I'll tell you what, I'll write the chords on the guitar and then I'll put the bass line in, or do you go straight in with the bass?
sometimes I start to play with guitar. I think the riff on guitar.
Yeah,
Sometimes I start with the acoustic guitar, or
yeah,
sometimes I just make the rhythm on the bass,
yeah,
and I start to create it on the bass as well.
yeah,
Sometimes just I think in the rhythm and on the
yeah,
drums. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't have just one way to start to create that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Sometimes I
it's I was going
sing.
to say, like when some of our songs, when you've started changing the tapping bits, because I do the tap bits and you do the tap bits now, it sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I like it. I like that.
yeah. Sometimes I listen to the song, and I I feel the sensation that is missing something there,
Yeah, yeah,
and I start to sing some notes
yeah,
in that part in
yeah,
Alchemy.
yeah,
The guitar is ching ching kank kank kank,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they and they start to create to found
yeah,
the notes,
yeah, yeah.
and that's it.
Well, that's good because all it does is it opens up the song more, doesn't it? It expands it more. And then you
Yeah,
get,
of course. Yeah,
because you get more notes going in, and then obviously I know what will happen when we end up going, with Tom. He'll go, oh well, I'll have to change it a bit now because he's playing.
yeah.
So that
To be
it's
honest, I have a problem to play exactly the second bass line
yeah,
it was recorded because all the time I think in something different, or
yeah,
I think different in the
oh
exact parts,
yeah,
or I would like
yeah,
to make some core phrase with the guitar.
yeah. Well, the thing is, you're like me. You're never satisfied because you've recorded it and you think, I should have done that better, or I could play that better, or I play it a different way.
Yeah,
And then, but if we were to do that, it would take about 3 years to do one song. Yeah. So, but that's how it operates, isn't it? So, okay. So, okay. If we go back to the bands thing, who was your influence? I know you've mentioned individual bass players, but I mean, because I know on the back wall there you've got your stuff that you did with your clinic and stuff. But I know there's bands obviously from your era in Brazil. Were they your first influence around the sort of era and the music style you were playing?
yeah. In Brazil, I think the main one was Angra.
Angra, yeah,
Yeah, Angra explode my mind with the technical and musicality
yeah,
because they play very different of the most of bands.
yeah,
Yeah, probably in Brazil that's the only one
right,
to influence me.
yeah,
After that, many years ago, many years, I I have more influence of Sepultura
okay,
with
yeah,
heavy metal, yeah, more heavy bands.
yeah,
But yeah, in the beginning, just Angra was the main influence for me.
yeah, yeah. Well, good band, they every and they set a good benchmark there because you got so many good songs. It's like And I always like the fact when bands are playing like that style, they have a good singer with them.
Yeah,
And that does help, doesn't it? Good singer always helps, because whatever the tune is, you know, if the singer's got the melody on there and he's going to throw it in, it sort of sits on top of the song as well, and it goes really well. It's nice, you know. Excuse me.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. This is another question I was going to sort of lead on to. Do you like any other style of music outside, or are you just heavy metal guy? Do you say like, no, that's it, or
No,
do
no,
you?
no. I love many different styles of music.
Yep.
Brazilian music, jazz music, progressive music.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the another ones.
Yep.
I just need to like that.
Yeah.
If I like it, it's okay for me. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you speak to so many people, you see, and you know, some people have a different opinion, and they go, "No, I only like this type of music." And it's sort of, when they're like that, they're very narrow-minded, I think, when they think like that. Whereas if you're a musician, you know, you should have a very open mind on whatever the style of music is.
exactly. And always you can bring different stuff, the older styles for your style,
Yes. Yes.
for your music.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like it expands it again, doesn't it? Because people think, like, when you talk to some people and they go, "Oh, what was your influence?" and what like that, and when someone throws in, "Well, I used to like them," and they go, "No way, you didn't like them, did you?" And you went, "Yeah." It's because if they're a good songwriter, or they've brought something to, you know, that piece of creativity because they like the way that sounds, I don't think it matters what style of music it is if it helps you write, you know,
Yeah,
because you've always got something in the background where you think, how would so and so, or how would he do it, or how would she do it, you know, and you think, right, you sort of got to open your mind up a little bit and let that come out. Because sometimes I mean, me personally, I can listen to anything from classical music to whatever, and I always get like hey, that sounds really good. I'll try that and see if it works, because sometimes it does and other times it doesn't, you know, but you've got to try it. You've got to try it. That's how I think anyway.
yeah, exactly. And the one thing is you listen music when you listen different styles of music, and then another one is when you play different styles.
Yes.
Independent, I think it's my opinion. Independent of any styles you play,
Yeah.
I never will play the same way of the bass, jazz bass
Yeah.
or funk bass. I have
Yeah.
my own style
Yeah.
in my own influence to
Yeah.
put I can play the same notes,
Yeah.
but I think you listen different. You know,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I never
But
will play like a Marcus Miller or something like this because
yeah.
I'm not a funk musician.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
metal bass player.
Yeah.
So I think the accent is different, you know?
Yeah. That's
I
right.
think the accent is completely different.
Yeah. Well, that's like you said, by having your own influence on it, it makes it individual then, rather than you going, "Oh, I'm going to copy that exactly the same." You may as well
Yeah,
be that player, hadn't you? Because that sometimes is where I have a bit of a problem sometimes with cover bands, is not because they're not playing the songs exactly. It's a case of they're trying to copy them to the point where they even look like them, the way they put the same guitars on, and but it's not the band, but they
exactly.
sound almost identical. Whereas to me, if I do a cover of a song, I like to change it a little bit and make it more individual, like you said, because if you can do it like that, I think that what that does then is put your own stamp on it, makes it yours, rather than being identical to the original song. Do you see what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah. So that's another way of looking at it, you know, because I think, like, if you do it like it's note for note, like I said before, it becomes, well, you're just another band copying their song. But if you change it or do a slight different version of it, it then becomes your style of that song. And sometimes it can make it sound, do you know what, that's different. That I like that, because when you listen to some of the big band names who've had their songs covered by other bands, they always say, I prefer a band to be more like themselves than to try to sound like us. Otherwise you may as well just have another song there. You know what I mean? So, and
Yeah.
I prefer that idea that, yeah, let's do a different version of it, but it's still the song. So everyone has a different way of looking at it, but that's my take on it anyway. I'm sure you have your own version of how you want to do stuff, but by the sounds of it, you like to put your own take on it as well. So that sounds good. Okay, right. So we're going to now move on to your equipment here. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is, if you go through like the sort of amps and the pedals you use, because I don't know whether you use a different setup for live as you do from the studio, but maybe you can explain to everyone what you use for yourself.
So at the moment, I'm using Quad Cortex
Okay.
with effects.
Yep.
Let me try to show you here.
Yep.
Here. I have a Quad Cortex here
Okay.
with the Wawa from, I don't remember, it's a Dark Glass, I think. No, it's a Crybabe. Here is
Crybaby.
the tuner from Shure.
Yep.
And basses, I'm using at the moment the Dingwall from
Okay.
Canada.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, that's my main gear at the moment.
Okay. So your Quad Cortex, I know you can go straight direct into the PA. Do you prefer that, or would you rather use a backline with an amp? Push it through an amp.
Basically, I use the Quad Cortex.
Right. So you prefer that
Sometimes
to
I use the amp behind me just to
yeah.
more pressure. But
Yeah.
basically, all the sound is here.
Yeah. Well, most people expect when they listen to the Quad Cortex, that's usually a guitar effect unit in it. But has it got some good bass sounds on it? Has it?
It's perfect.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
For me, it's different when I hear the sound just normal one. When you make the process here in the Quad Cortex is different for me. Because when I record something, I use the parallax to parallax effects from DSP as well.
Yep.
DSP Neural and Quad Cortex is the same. So I have the same sound that I record here.
Okay.
Alive.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the DSP stuff, do you?
Too much, yeah.
Yeah. Too much, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the sound is completely different. You have a anger bass when you use the Quad Cortex.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had a go at the Quad Cortex, but I've been told they're very good. I mean, because mine, obviously, mine's Kemper, so it's very, very, a slightly different.
You have been using Kemper as well?
What's that?
You have been using Kemper?
Yeah. I've got look, I'll show you my pedals here. I'll just grab them. I've got the
okay.
That's the floor unit. So you can see it there. That controls because my Kemper unit is a rack mounted one, because I have it right behind you. If I can turn this round, I don't know if you can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Kemper unit there. The thing is, what I found, and this is just me because I'm a guitar player, is they're good because they're sampling the sounds and all that. But when I drive that Kemper through my power amp here, which is lower down on the floor here, it's a good sound. It's really, really aggressive. But what I found is it's very sort of clean, it's clinical. Whereas with an amp, if I put it through an amp and I use an amp on its own, the amp has more, let's say, how do I use the word? It's more aggressive, but you can't, it's not being tamed. It's this amp here, the Kemper is good, but it's like it's almost in a cage. Whereas
Yeah, I know.
the amp lets it out of the cage and it becomes more aggressive like that. So it swings and roundabouts, but
Yeah, I think the quad cortex resolves something a little bit about this cage you told me,
yeah,
and yeah, I think that the sound is very original because I
okay,
tried to um, copy my Ampeg in Portugal,
yes, yes,
and I tested the Ampeg amp and
yeah,
the quad cortex, and the
yeah,
sound is the same one,
identical, yeah, yeah,
identical.
yeah. Well, this one here, I have the sound I've got on my Kemper here is I've got for me, one of the amps that I like the most is I've got the Eddie Van Halen Stealth head. Now,
Yeah.
at the moment, I'm in the process, I'm going to be buying one of them, but I'll have the head and I'll have the Kemper. And the way I'm looking at it, because I like the 4x12 cab behind me, because I've got a couple of cabs here. One of them's, oops, you can see it, the Mesa Boogie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that I like
You
that
have
because
the older one, the living room.
the other no, that's just a cab. There's the other one.
Oh, okay.
There's the I get it right. Soldano, that one. That I had another cab. The one you saw in my living room. That's just a flight case. That's for this
Ah,
Soldano
just the
here.
flight case. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because the Soldano is a really good cab, but what the Soldano is,
That's amazing.
it likes to be it's more controlled, whereas the Mesa Boogie
The Mesro, yeah.
is brutal. Is brutal, you know. So, and that's the difference between, for me, some cabs are better than others, and it all depends on what you like as a musician. I know, like you just said, you got a Ampeg back in Portugal. Do you play with two cabs, or is it just one if you were using that?
In Brazil, I had one cab with 8 speakers.
Okay, yeah,
I prefer that one.
you prefer
But
it, yeah.
to carry to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
in different places is difficult. So I decided to have two with 4 speakers.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is to
yeah,
put the one side for the older one.
yeah. I bet
Yeah,
that was heavy. The
yeah.
big one
No,
with
it's
eight
not too
speakers.
heavy.
No,
No,
no. Oh, it's okay. Well, I thought, I mean, like you said,
you make
Ampeg,
the sound or the weight.
the weight.
Yeah, with two people, two people
Yeah,
is better to
yeah,
to carry
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's not a one-man job; it's two people. Yeah.
No, definitely.
Well, that's, I mean, at least you're being honest. They'll be like, Felipe wants his cab bringing in. I'll like, oh, well, I'll just go for a beer while you. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, so we've looked at your basses. Now, I remember you saying to me that because they're all 6-string, aren't they? Can you
Yeah,
just run through them and show everyone like what you've got? Go through your bass collection, let everyone see the different basses.
yeah. You want to show her?
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look at your basses.
So that you play with this dingo here.
Yep.
That's Adam Knowles signature from
Okay.
Dingo.
Yep.
So
So
like ability.
this is your Dingwell, isn't it? This one you're playing.
Huh?
Dingwell, is it? Dingwell.
Dingo.
Dingwell. Okay.
Let me
Right.
show.
Ah, yeah.
I think that there's no name here. Yeah, Ding Wall.
Okay. Right. Okay. I get
Yeah.
I know you've got another one of these, haven't you? A slightly different one.
Yeah. Normally I use with the different tunings
Okay. Right. Get you.
because we have normally in the Alchemy Fire we use E flat.
Yep. Yep.
I have the older one in the E normal.
Yep.
Definitely, is just the for me playing with the Alchemy Fire is just the tuning
Yeah. Yeah.
difference.
Well, that's like with me with this this 7-string when I've got this, because that's the E, but with the 7 string on it, that B string on there. So the difference is with this is like it's kind of weird playing this when everything on E flat and then you come back to this thing, but it's still got a real nice heavy sound to it.
Yeah.
So when you're playing in with this one, it opens up for me because I've never had a 7-string before. So having this, it's a different way of learning to play it because the riffs are
It's
totally
different. You have
oh
one more string here, make
yeah
it all different.
yeah. Well, it's got some sound, this thing, because this is like one of your other basses. This is Ibanez as well, you see. And
Yeah, ESP.
ESP, yeah. I have my all my other stuff. My main guitar is always this one. This is my Ibanez. I can see it there.
Yeah.
That's my main one. That's what we did the album with. So, but that, like I said, once it's tuned into the E flat, it's
That's the main one you use alive?
yeah. I mean, the other stuff, all the other ones, like my other ESPs and that, this one here, the black one, this is one of the newest models on the market, this E2. This is a nice guitar, this is real heavy. It's got a real bite to it. Whereas my other one, this is another one here, this, and there's another E2, but this is the
Les Paul.
Les Paul one. Yeah, it's nice. It's got a good sound, this one. But
You have it probably.
yeah, well, my other Les Paul downstairs, the Bullseye one, I like that as well. That's got a really nice play. It plays really well, and because that got used on the album as well. And it was like people think like, oh, what are you using that for? That's only a little cheap guitar. Like I said to people, when I bought that guitar, when I went in and I tried out all the Les Pauls, I mean, they were like £4,500, £5,000 for a Les Paul.
And you like to play with Les Paul?
Yeah, well, I had Les Pauls before, but I ended up like you do with guitars.
But do you like to play with this?
Yes, yeah.
It's a little bit different, no?
Yeah, it is. But what I find with Les Pauls is like you got to get the right one. If you don't, like the one I have, that Epiphone downstairs was fantastic. Like I said, I tried about 10 Les Pauls out and they were all crap, all of them.
Really? Wow.
But I picked up the Epiphone and it was like, wow, that's fantastic. And it's a really good neck on it and that, and I just liked it. And same with this one here, the ESP one. That's a nice sound and a nice feel. I mean, because it's newish, you got to bed them in and get them playing and set up the way you want to do. It's like anything, isn't it? You pick it up when it's new. You've got to get that feel with it, because sometimes I always find like if I can't feel right within the first 5-10 minutes of that instrument, I won't have it. I'm like, no, don't want that one. What about you? Do you feel like that when you try it? Because I mean, I know these Dingwell, did you have to go to a shop or did you just order them in?
Yeah, I just the shop that one, and I was looking for a different sound of
Yep.
the Ibanez because I think the Ibanez is a little bit on the cage, like you said.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a normal because the Dingo with because you have the fun fret, the mood
Yep.
scale. You
Yep.
have a low, a little bit more
Okay.
power.
Yep.
The bright is completely different.
Okay.
It's more clear the sound.
Yeah.
To slap you can feel more
Yeah.
on the B sound, the B string. You can hear more
Yeah.
definition. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I was looking for the different sound, and I
Yeah.
found that brand,
Yeah.
and well, why not? Yeah, and I have been used for 1 year probably.
Okay. Are you endorsed
And
by Dingwell?
sorry,
Are you endorsed by them? Do they
no,
endorse you? Not
not yet, not yet.
yet. Yeah, yeah. Well, you better write to them and say, hey, I've got a few of your bases here, so you better start endorsing me.
I have been recording some videos playing with this bass
Yeah,
and tag the guys. Hey, look for me. Hey, look for
yeah,
me.
yeah. That's it. Yeah. Hey,
Maybe
let's have
someday. Why
yeah,
not? Why
of course.
not? When we start to touring around the Europe and the USA,
Yep.
we can talk with the guys.
Yeah.
Probably. Why not?
Keep sending them the tags and that. Here's a live video. There you go.
Yeah.
That
I
hey,
need to
that's
keep
the way
showing my job.
yeah, yeah. That's the way it is, mate. Yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, what a lot of people forget is they do it the wrong way round. I mean, all the bands who've got all the money, they then throw the guitars and the basses at them and go, "Here, have this, have this." Whereas the struggling and the up and coming bands who've got very little money, they don't help them. They go, "No, you have to buy them."
Yeah.
It's the wrong way round, isn't it? When you think
Yeah, but
about
I'm
that.
very happy with this bass, and probably will keep this,
Yeah,
keep playing with this bass. Yeah, definitely.
that's your main one, is it? The one you've got there in your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I know you showed me on there that you've got a gold pickup on that one. Not pickup, scratch plate on that one.
Proud of that.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you said you did that one yourself, did you?
Yeah, they have the original one because the
Okay.
original is like a carbon,
Okay.
and I went to the store and made the same size and everything
Yeah.
perfect. But I told the guy I would like one gold, one uh, silver,
All right.
and two blacks, please. The guy cut for me the same size, and I installed that one.
Yeah. Well, your other one's got the silver one on it, hasn't it? Your other
Yeah, the
thing.
silver one.
Yeah. Matching pair.
Yeah, and they made the inlays as well.
Okay.
I installed the inlays because I have just the small balls here,
Yeah. Yeah.
point, and
Yeah.
I decided to make these different inlays here because
Okay.
I have one series from Dingwall. They use that one, and I
Right.
get the same size, everything, and install
Okay.
that. Probably my signature will be the same.
That's it. Well,
Why
now
not?
what you need now is them to carve your name on the top on the headstock. The
Yeah,
Philip
I I
Kopke.
had I had one.
Oh, did you?
You remember that one?
Which one was that?
You-
That the Ibanez?
No, no. I had one from a custom made.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
had one custom made that I had my logo here, FK, on
Yeah.
the 12 fret. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I decided to sell that.
Oh, have you? Well, it'd be rare now. So it'd be worth some money. That
It's too much bass for me. It's too much bass.
too much. Okay. Well, you know, when you did your clinic in Brazil, you know the poster behind you,
Yeah,
that's your bass hero, in it. The guy next to you on there.
yeah,
He plays in Angra, doesn't he now?
yeah. He's still playing bass there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dream because I
Okay.
start to play because this guy here,
Okay. So he's
and
your
uh,
hero.
and I was some days ago. I was watching my channel on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I saw my first video that I upload there was a video playing the same place that I play with him 12 years after 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I start to play. He influenced me to start to play.
Yep.
And one day, I'm in the same stage playing with him.
Yeah.
One song from Angler. I can
Yeah.
imagine this. I
Did you
can.
have
I
to
can.
go to Brazil for that and go to Brazil and play? Was it?
Yes,
Yeah, you went to
it
Brazil.
was my third time in Brazil playing a clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, and this time I decided to invite Felipe Andreoli to play with me.
Wow.
Yeah, and he accepted this
Cool.
invitation,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. That sounds
They,
good, mate. I mean, oh, not only that, it's like, because I know we're just going to put a bit of advertisement for your solo album here, because that's, you know, that when you put that together, that was really, really good. I enjoyed your solo album. Excellent. It's really some really good songs on there, some
yeah,
really good
thank you.
musicians. And, you know, what inspired you to do that? You just wanted to do that? Or was it just like, no, I've been waiting to do this for a long time?
Yeah, now I need to create more songs to for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably for the next year I will record a new one.
Oh, so you're going for another one? Yeah.
Now I can't stop more. I can't stop anymore. I need to
Yeah.
keep it going. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. Well, that's how it works, isn't it? You start and you got the ball rolling, you got to keep going,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it works all the time. Do
I need to
you?
show that I'm still alive.
That's it. Not there's not enough hours in the day, is there, mate?
Yeah.
You when you did that album, where was that recorded? Was that done UK or was that
I
um,
record here in UK and in
okay
Brazil as well.
in Brazil as well? Right.
Yeah, I have a friend, Paul Freitas,
Okay.
record some guitars and make the the master and the mixing for me.
Okay.
He's an amazing guitar player, drummer.
Yeah.
He play everything. And when I decided to do the clinic with Felipe,
Yep.
I thought, where do we play this in this this
Yeah.
clinic? Because I could play some Alchemy Fire music as well
Yeah.
in my own bands.
Yeah.
So okay, but why not to play something that I create something new?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I decided to record this album, and I had 4 months to create 7 songs,
Okay.
record, and launch that.
Yeah. 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 So you got some more in the back. You're ready for your second album later on, are you?
Yeah, but now I have more time for that.
Yes. Yeah.
I have more time. I probably invite different people. Probably why not Felipe
Yeah.
to make some jam with me.
Yeah. Why not?
And in this time, I think I will invite a big musicians. Not all the musicians to record for me is a good
Yes.
players as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
but with more, how can I say, in the mainstream
Yeah.
names.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
invite different names
Yes.
to record with me and
Yeah.
show for more people the sound, yeah, the songs.
Yeah. Well, I'm in sort of similar boat to you in a way because I want to do some solo stuff. I've got a few things going. There's a few things in the background at the moment. I'll tell you a bit later on when we're off air a bit about them. But at the moment, you know, it's like I said, because Neil keeps banging on to me saying, come on, get Felipe, we go in the studio and we'll start doing some stuff. And I said, okay, because I've got some new songs for us anyway, but I'll do them later and I'll send you some of them. But the thing is, if we get into the studio, maybe you, me and Neil smash them out first, work some of them out, then send them over to America to the guys over there and let them have a play with them. And then it gives us a starting point for some new stuff as well. Because, you know, also we're waiting on, like I said, the record label to get the invite to come over to the States. So, you know, there's a lot of things in the pipeline at the moment, and we just got to do it one step at a time. But while we're waiting, it's not going to hurt us to put some more material together and get the ball rolling for new material. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, like we said, it's easy enough for us to sort of, while we're here, we'll discuss that and get the ball going. Like I said, the ball rolling, and then, you know, because I when I used to put the demos together for the album, I used to put all the instruments on, but I'm not doing that now. I'll just go, right, Felipe, there's guitars, some of them, have a listen. You put your bit in, because you might say, oh, I'd rather do it this way, and we change it around. Same with Neil and the other guys. They're all going to have a say this time. It's a bit easier to write this album than what the first one was done, you know, because the first one was tough to get that album together with the people, and it was bouncing all over the world type thing. So we'll get it right, don't worry. And I think it will sound better as well once we get there.
We will have more time.
Yeah, that's right. And the band will be more together then, won't it? Yeah,
definitely.
Well, look, it's been lovely talking to you. So the last question of the night is for me to just say to you is like, yeah, because it's all about, you know, like what we're going to do a bit later on in the future and stuff like that. So are you fired up to go to America and stuff like that, to the USA?
Yeah.
I
hope so.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it's like a dream for me.
Yep.
I think the dream of many people is playing USA.
Yep.
Because everything happened there.
Yep.
No?
Well, I've got a feeling, I mean, just the way things are going, because I'll give you a little bit of an insight. When I spoke to Lothar not so long ago, he's working something out for when his bands are coming over to the UK, and we'll probably be joining him on that, and maybe in Europe, because his band, when I interviewed him on here, they just finished playing Hellfest in France. There's 120,000 people at Hellfest, so that's a big festival. And they went on stage, and because two of the guys in his band are from Corrosion of Conformity, right? So they got to go on stage with Pantera. So, you know, they got the links there. So hopefully we'll jump on the band at the back of that. But I'm hoping that we do the same thing, the reciprocating when we go to the US, because I've got a feeling we'll probably end up going. My feeling is that we're going to go to Chicago first, where the label is, and we'll do some stuff there, because there's quite a few bands that Lothar is involved with over there. And that's why I think if we're going anywhere first, it'll more than likely end up being Chicago to play, because there's some decent venues around there. So we'll know more when we get the information back. But in the meantime, you know, we just got to keep soldiering on and see where we go from here. So that's why I'm going to throw some songs your way very soon, and then we'll roll with that, and let's get the you know, kickstart it again and see where we go from there.
Nice. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it would be good, because then everyone's putting their bid in, you know. All right, so what I'll do is I'll call our friend back in, if El's in here anywhere, and we'll probably end this interview on the note that we're saying that it's been great talking to you. We're going to catch up with you, like I said, a bit later on. And like I said, it's a case of now we just move forward, because there's a few things I want to discuss as well about what we're doing with other people and stuff like that. But we'll keep that as a little sideline off air, because
there's step
I
by
don't want to
step.
give too much away.
We left the album. Now we need to start to play a live.
Yeah.
Album.
Yes.
And after
definitely.
that, record the new one. And
Yep.
keep the ball rolling.
Yep. Definitely. So if you're hanging around anywhere else, where are you? We're just about done on this one. So I'm going to say good evening.